everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shoe Podcast, the only secret podcast that is getting over a sinus infection. I'm your co-host, Ryan Landry.
I am your finally crispy clear co-host, Tanner Young.
Yeah, sorry everyone we were gone last week. We both had our own ailments inflicting us in a way. So I had a sinus infection. No. What, you had, the whole house had scratchy throats?
That's how it started. See, look at that. There it is.
You want me to roll the outro right now?
Might as well. I've spent so many years working with children that my immune system is fantastic. But then now I have my own child. So then he is bringing a whole other group of children's sickness to me. And then of course it infects my wife.
Yeah.
And then it mutates to me. Yeah, it was not great. So whenever I got the text, I was like, you know what?
We're going to take a week off. Yeah. We're going to take a week off. Sign. Yeah. Oh. But it is good to be back now. We've got an especially exciting episode today. Our first ever return guest on the show. Before we jump into it, we want to take a minute wherever you're listening. Please make sure you are following the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, take a minute, hit that subscribe button. And we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, the Voodoo Vintage Flea Market. Sponsor? Who? Us? That's right.
Crazy.
Sponsoring a return guest on the first day. Maybe they'll take next week off as well. You know, we're really peaking early here. But Sunday, March 24th, downtown Lafayette from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Voodoo Vintage will be shutting down. I believe it's the 300 and 400 block of Jefferson Street. It's 2 whole blocks of Jefferson Street, the main street that runs through downtown Lafayette, for a bunch of vintage clothing vendors to be set up. Food trucks will be there, and your boys truly will be down there for the day. We're going to have a little booth, a little table down there. We will be doing live podcasting from the street. Come sit in, be on an episode, give us your spiciest sneaker take, whatever you want to say on the air. This is your time to do it. It's like the Joe Rogan podcast at home, basically, you know?
There you go. We will have waivers to sign. So bring
you want waivers?
Bring your blue ink pens.
Only blue. We're only going to accept blue ink.
Yeah. I want to have such a spicy sneaker hot take that we have to do like the first 48 style where we blur and like distort your voice.
All right. As the guy who edits this, thank you for wishing that upon me. I'm going to have to learn those skills over the weekend.
No. They do that.
Okay. Got you.
Blurred.
The first 48 people come onto our show.
I think so. That's how it works.
Budget just went up. But yes, we'll get another sponsor. It's a Posse scheme. We just keep rolling in new sponsors. Each one pays off the last. So we will be there. We will be podcasting, and we will also have a little bit of merch for sale and a merch pre-order. New piece of merch. Not going to talk about it too much until then. Maybe before we'll do a little leak or something like that. But first piece of merch in a while. Very exciting for us. So come on out. Yes. Thank you again, Voodoo Vintage, for sponsoring this episode and for having us at the flea market. We're really looking forward to it.
Very excited. Been on a big thrift. It like comes in like spurts, and I want a real big high right now. So this is perfect timing.
Yeah.
Went thrifted some sweet, comfortable pants. I don't know, like a month ago. Then found myself in Ponchatoula. Decided to do some thrifting. It was not as it was a little bit more tough.
Yeah.
And a little bit more sketchy.
All right. Look for that on a future episode. Maybe we'll do one live from the Ponchatoula Goodwill if they'll have us.
Ew, they won't.
Okay. Well, sorry to hear that. Anyways, we can stop, just chatting the two of us here. We're very excited today to bring back our first ever return guest on the show. You already know it from the thumbnail, from the title, but please join us in welcoming back to the show, Cody Duet. Cody, thank you so much for being here, man. I think you're still on mute. Let's see.
Yeah.
And he's back.
You're right about that. Awesome. I was on mute.
Thank you so much for coming back, man. For anyone who missed our interview with Cody from 3 years ago, we'll have a link to it at the top of the screen right now. But one of our first interviews we ever did, someone we've known for, we were just talking before we started rolling, for like 7 years now, which is kind of crazy to say out loud. But man, thank you so much for coming back on the show here.
Oh yeah, man. It's I had been hitting you up for a couple of weeks, like that I wanted to. I've just been catching episodes. I enjoy it, man. I'm impressed. I was telling you before. I'm impressed with you and Tanner have got going on. It's cool, and I just been listening to like the Complex Sneaker Show a lot. I'm doing a bunch of podcasts and like I said, running. So it's got me interested in sneakers. So it's like seeing the stuff you post is because I might follow you and like a handful of like the bigger, like
We made it.
I don't know what's the in sneaker website right now. Like I
Yeah.
like the one that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Not like old, washed people like me. Like I just still check Hypebeast. I'm still a Hypebeast every other day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Seeing what they're posting. I don't know where, I mean, I feel like I don't know how many people are still going to like .coms these days to get like so much of what's going on. I mean, we still use sneaker news a lot, but that's a lot more so for like the releases of what's coming up rather than kind of trends or maybe reporting on like big moments or anything like that.
Man, I wouldn't even know what a big moment would be now.
That's maybe like a great starting point for this whole episode. I mean, so yeah, to give that context, we're just here to like chat about sneakers and the state of sneakers in 2024. This is not so much of an interview, but that's a great point that you bring up of like what's a big moment in sneakers right now, because it feels like I feel like there hasn't been like a real like big moment and big release. I don't know if I want to go as far as like the SB Jordan 4 last year, but that felt like the last like kind of hysteria level one. Is there anything since then that y'all really think about in terms of like one singular?
I don't know about hysteria as much as I think that it's like why people didn't want SB to like leave the small allotments at the skate shops.
Yeah.
And why, people like the way it was before the raffles, and maybe like a quote unquote a limited shoe truly was like New Orleans as a market might have got 36 pairs.
Right. Yeah.
I think that there was a level of it not being super mainstream that made smaller things feel big. And it's like now, because there's whole, $1 million marketing budgets dedicated to like these live activation spaces and stuff. It's like everything's a big launch with, Exhibit performing his latest hit. And, no, like it's just, and I'm not knocking that. That stuff's cool. But like, that is not what this was when I was a kid. So it's like it's looking at a different thing with a different set of eyes.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point that you bring up of like the brand activations, because like I can think probably just in the past month, like Politics had the Anta release of what is it, Kyrie's first signature shoe with them, where like they shut down a block of downtown Dallas and like had Kyrie come out and built a basketball court, and then like LeBron just retro the Fruity Pebbles, and like Kith does these giant build outs of like Fruity Pebbles installations. So like you have brands and stores doing like mass activations, but I guess like case in point, like I don't know that we think of that as big moments in sneakers, because it felt like necessarily the consumer response to it wasn't necessarily there or wasn't proportionate to the amount of effort they put into the activation.
I mean, I think I don't want to talk. Yeah, I don't want to talk down on that stuff because I don't want to be a hater. I just, I don't, I like to use basic examples, right? So take the pigeon. How many people in the world knew who Jeff Staple was at that time as compared to now, right?
Yeah.
Like that was really some small internet culture / New York City cool kid scene. And if you know, right?
Yeah.
It didn't need to have Kyrie Irving and a basketball court in the middle of the city. Like, I think that stuff's dope. I think that stuff's dope. The fact that he was out there is cool. I fuck with him because he stands his ground on a lot of stuff. Like I I'm happy to see he has a signature shoe. His shoe's cool looking too.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of, doesn't it kind of look like some KDs from some years back when they had the midfoot strap and the kind of like air bubble in the back. I don't know. I just glanced at the shoe. I don't want to do that either. Let me not sound like a hater. But I thought that was cool. I thought that was tight. But again, like, those are consumer centered events.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas the pigeon moment was something that happened amongst consumers as a byproduct of something.
Yeah.
Like the Kyrie thing, I hope a lot of kids got to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Shake his hand, get within 6 feet of him, because the rest of us, and again, this would be a little bit cynical, like we were joking about before. We're grown men, man. Like, I don't need to go see Kyrie Irving. Like, I respect him. Like, I can respect him from where I'm sitting right here. So like, I hope that the whole basketball court and activation, all the money that was spent, and again, I won't sound like a hater, but it's just the truth, like how I feel sometimes. I hope that kids got to experience that, because that is a different thing than this thing that a couple of people know about and it's spread like wildfire. Just some weird nerd shit of like, hey man, Saturday there's these sneakers that are coming out and they're gonna be suede instead of leather. It's like, oh my god, are you out of your mind? Like,
Well,
so where are they gonna have? Man, it's this little store in Lafayette, lime green walls, like,
yeah.
But that was like, so to be long-winded, I don't know if we're going for stuff like that. I would easily say like politics. They do like great activations for everything.
1,000%.
Although I would say 100% though.
The grief I've been giving them lately is like, hey guys, we're still in Louisiana over here. If Dallas could breathe for a minute and we could come back to Louisiana just so I could go to something, that would be great.
Bang Boys first. Well, not Bang Boys, the Beamer sneaker. I'm sorry. The Beamer sneaker.
Yeah.
The purple Beamer sneaker. That is, I was thinking about it when you were asking the question initially, but I wanted to do all that bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
I know Brandon a long time. I got my start in all of this with Brandon.
Yes.
And, when just like I'm like telling you, like I'm like getting back into sneakers now. When I got to college, I was re-interested in sneakers after like kind of being wishy-washy with it the last 2 years I was in high school. Like, I don't care about all these Jordans and shit. And when I met Brandon and Courtney, it was like, all right, cool. I've met some other people who are not just like me, but enough like me, and we share this similar interest in this thing that I know is still very niche and weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
That it's okay, cool. Like, this is how you make friends as an adult.
Yeah.
And Brandon was always super cool, super nice dude. And like, we haven't stayed in like super close touch. Like, but I'll message him.
Mm-hmm.
We go back and forth. Like, again, like, you meet someone when you're 18, 19 years old and you spend just a lot of time with them in any sort of setting, you remember people like that. So like, to see him get a shoe
and
him know that he had done all that stuff with like Run Louisiana when he was still living here, like he was a real runner. And like Dad used to be in, like, just like, it's just like synergy, like really good timing.
Yeah.
Like that would be the big sneaker moment, I would say. And then I think those shoes are like I think they're expensive on StockX. Like,
I don't know. They just did this. They just did the second colorway of them, the NOLA colorway, which you got to get a pair of those if you don't have them yet. But it's funny. It's funny that you bring it up, because I was just thinking, I'd been thinking for like, a week or two now since we set this up that we were going to do it. And I'm like, I'm also looking back and reflecting, like, it's funny because like the only reason I'm sitting here on the internet unboxing 2 pairs of Sauconys, it's just 3 years ago, we're sitting down with Cody and he's telling us about this guy named Brandon Williams who used to work at Pivot Foot, who started a podcast called Claima that you got to check out. Like the only reason we're sitting down with Alfred Banks is because Cody turns to the camera and says, shout out Alfred Banks. He's telling me about the Jordans he buys at round 2 that he doesn't care about, like, you're just such like a connector in that way. I think of like, there's so many moments I think throughout the podcast since we've sat with you that like we could probably like trace back and point to like, oh yeah, from Cody's interview, that kind of put us onto that. But I just wanted to bring it up since we were talking about, the claim of Sauconys anyways. Both colorways very good.
Man, some about the second color. I don't know what it is. I know that they're tight. I know this in my heart of heart. I can't see it right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm just like, I wanted the purple ones. I did. But I had dad obligation the day of the release, and I try not.
Look at Tanner over there. Not to. He's never felt so seen right now.
And I try not to ask my friends to hold me stuff now because like who my friends are now and where they are in their careers is different than like 10 years ago. And it's like, man, these dudes had like people at their store waiting for these sneakers. And I don't buy it. I have not bought a ton of sneakers over the last couple of years. So I haven't really shopped with anyone. Yeah. I do like to shop local when I do. Like I bought the watch, I'm gonna go get them. Let me get off screen. I'll show you the sneakers I just bought.
Oh,
let's get into it. We might as well here.
Hey,
I thought about going grab a couple pairs as well, but I was like, I don't know if we're going to get all into it and everything.
Well, hey, look, just turn around.
Because you guys are never. It's unexpected. I think.
Yeah.
I bought these handball special.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, they're basically sandals. They look like sandals, right?
They do look a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not sandals. And I needed a casual, but I could somewhat like look presentable white sneaker the other day, or just like a muted sneaker. So I went to Foster and they had those. I really went to get the white and navy 85 low, tried them on and everything. And I just saw these Adidas and I'm like, man, the Adidas are calling my name.
Yeah.
What you got to go with?
Calling my name. So I got the Adidas. And they're cream. They're not all white. They're not solid.
Yeah, I could see like the difference in them.
Oh, yeah. Just something to break it up.
They honestly kind of remind me of, you had some Adidas Human Races or Pharrells, I think when we did our interview with you on similar kind of like silhouette in that cream color. Yeah.
I still got those. There's some Pharrell campuses.
That's what it is. Okay. Yeah.
But this is what made me reach out about the show. We can start did you have some sneakers? Were you about to show us some sneakers? Were you about to show us some sneakers, sir?
Mine are all in the other room. I'd have to get up and go grab them.
Okay. Those Terra Humaras, man. Terra Humara. Those shits are crazy.
Look, that's all. Now that's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. He's been waiting. He has been waiting. He literally those. As soon as we saw the photos, he was immediately like, "Oh, this is it. This is the one."
And it's just a cool looking shoe to wear. Like nobody famous has to wear them. They're just fun.
That is, I think, honestly, over the past like couple years, I think that's been the thing. Has been, I think like the freeing part about getting into sneakers is maybe the maturing about it, and you're not just like, okay, this is what's hot. So, let me get it because this is what is getting all the clicks and stuff like that. Or you eventually you get through your collection of like, okay, I remember seeing the Jordan 4 breads and just idling over these, and I finally get them. So you end up getting those pieces. And then I feel like we're at the point now where it's like, I kind of want to get something that is just, it's more under the radar. Like you said, it doesn't have to have a big name attached to it. It doesn't have to have this giant rollout. It's just like, I could see myself wearing that. And look at that.
Both so good. I love this colorway. If we had, like, if this was a workplace, there would be a counter on the screen that said, it has been 0 weeks since Ryan's talked about the Air Terra Humara. And this colorway specifically, I'm so hyped on these.
That was just sick.
You got the white ones too. I can't picture you wearing the white shoes like that.
These? You're a really good judge of character because I barely have. But it was because, right? Well, boy, I'll get on a whole tangent, right?
Oh yeah.
These and the black ones are on their website, and then they pull all the stock and they say sold out. And I'm like,
oh,
I know
yeah,
y'all
that's
did.
true. That's true. We talked about this.
And I'm like, I know y'all didn't sell out of them, but like the resale on them was $20 more than retail. And these are like, at this point, there's no info on them. So you don't know if it's friends or family or not. So I'm like, I'm doing the mistaken thing where I'm like, I'm just so thirsty for this shoe. I'm just going to get this shoe. And I have worn it, but ever since I've got this one, it's been like, it's good, but I don't know how much I'm going to keep wearing it. Whereas this one is just.
So is one of those panels 3M?
Yeah. So this panel where the brown panel? Is, I don't know if the light will catch it in the right. You can see it's kind of reflect in person. What about on the green pair? On the green pair, I haven't noticed it as much because I haven't actually worn them out yet, but let's see.
Flash test.
It's got a little bit of it. I mean, all these little silver panels like that one, and then on the toe, those are. But on the brown shoe, this whole upper panel right there is. I don't know if this will show it any better. No, not really. But yeah, I am. This one for me right now is sneaker of the year. And I know it's only March, but I'm calling it. And we'll see what else comes out this year.
That is some Ridley Scott like, alien stuff.
It just reminds me like, okay, like when you get to be about like 5th, 6th grade, so you can kind of start fitting the bigger shoes. And it's like, again, the 90s, so like Nike's not making everything in kids.
Yeah.
Maybe they're making some stuff in big kids. And it's like everybody wants Jordan. And at the time, like them stupid ass like Shaqs. Those kids who wore those and like, man, I knew kids who wore all the Sean Kemp shoes, Scottie Pippen shoe, all this, right? And every now and then in public, you would see somebody with like an obscure Nike like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? Because I didn't grow up in the hood, so it's like I didn't see all this like stuff in real life that way.
Yeah,
I saw it like in real life on like random people, and just like,
yeah,
man, I know. Those are tight. Those are like I don't understand the sneaker of the year concept that they talk about a lot on Complex. Now you said it.
Okay.
I mean, I get it, sneaker of the year, but it's like I don't get what quantifies the sneaker of the year.
Oh boy,
at all.
Don't get them started.
It's okay.
Don't get us started.
Short answer. I fully believe it's so different for everyone, and I think Complex when they do it right, they are trying to do a list that they feel will appeal to everyone and kind of best represents big moments in the year. So like big sneakers of the year of like in popularity, I think with a little sprinkle of like, maybe this wasn't that popular, but we feel like it's actually significant and important and has good design. When we do it, you could close your eyes and throw a handful of dice across the room and I'll tell you what comes out of it. It's the rules are kind of off the table. It's become such an event that we break it out into 2 episodes now because I can't pick. Don't get me started about collaborations. I'll be here for another 50 minutes, but yeah.
That's all you can. Oh my God.
But so you don't really look at sneakers in that way of like, you know, at the end of the year, kind of like a top 10 list or anything like that?
I mean, I could, like if you were asking me to do one for sure. But just for me, again, it's different. It's weird now. Like it's weird not spending at like the kind of time that I used to spend like in a retail setting and not really knowing. It's like a lot of hypothesis. Like, cause I would think to myself that you would, I wish I had a counter for all the different things I've done with my hat. We've been talking.
Maybe in post we'll add it in.
There you go. Categorize
ding, ding. It's like nothing that they do with Travis Scott it surprises me, right?
No,
like it just doesn't surprise me. Like it's kind of, for lack of a better word to use, it's very transparent. Like I know that Travis Scott products are coming, right? Same with Drake. Like I know Drake products are coming.
Yep.
And then it's like I don't want to see a Drake Air Jordan 3. Like I don't like the correlation between Drake and Air Jordan don't mean nothing to me, you know.
Right.
like they would have to do something like the countdown pack. Or like all the Joe Freshgoods shit is tight, right? The Brandon shoes, the Beamer shoes are tight.
Yeah.
The guy J Tips, his stuff is tight. And I think it's mostly because it's different, and different is the only thing that's kind of attention getting now, because like we're just talking about, like used to get like one Air Jordan 1 every 6.5 years. And maybe it was a mid cut. But it's the Code JP mid cut, so it's crinkly silver leather. Like it's just like you things were so few and far between. Like the ginger 14 low, very cool. Look like perfect summertime shoe. It's why it's on my mind, right? But in the scheme of that year, that wasn't the most popular.
Right.
Fucking no way.
Yeah.
No way. Not 1998. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, maybe the hood, because I can see that being like very popular in the hood.
Yeah.
And I think all that comes into play when it comes to like when you think of like those sneaker moments, because you either you see the timeline, like you said, okay, I know this collab's coming out, and then we talk about all the time.
That's the sneaker of the year.
Oh man.
You know it's gonna make it into the top 10 or at least be 11 or 12.
I
mean, hey, they're $20, so at least there's that.
Did either one of you guys buy one?
No. That is something that, like, I feel like, to me, like, they're so like, to be so far-fetched from I would even wear them once to see what it's like, that I'm like, even $20 feels like a waste just to have a bit, just to even do a piece of content for our podcast. I'm like, I don't even want to spend the $20 on it just to get it and put it on once and be like, all right, I'll take the clown wig now. Like, while we're at it, I might as well complete the ensemble. But no,
but the big red boot took over. Like it's so interesting as to what catches. Like you have the big red boot, which is obviously going to be. I think we definitely live in that social media age right now, so it's very much just like what is going to get me that 100K likes in a day, because then tomorrow it's gone. No, tomorrow I'll be lucky if I get 10K, and then it's 2, and then it's done in a week, so maybe the bigger boot had it, but I thought, I was like, oh, this is going to go crazy. You got it $20, but then I also think with that social media craze, it is the big red boot had that kind of like somewhat rarity. There was a price point to it. And then all of a sudden now it became $20. So then it's like, kind of like how we were talking before the episode, you've got those people who can do that high fashion at a level. But then once everyone underneath them, that becomes obtainable, everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm moving on to the next trend. So I think as soon as it hit $20, I think everybody was just like, I could care less anymore, which is crazy. I mean, it is just a sock with some rubber on the bottom of it, so it's nothing intense, but
yeah,
I thought it would be a little bit more of like I would see some social media fire, but
I think
pretty dead.
Probably also part of that is, I don't know if, like, I think it was pre-order, so I don't know if everyone got theirs in yet. So maybe once people do, you'll see it.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
You might see more of it online. I don't know 100%. I know several of the guys at Ruckus got them, and I congratulated all of them, and I said, I wish you the best.
You guys buying Nike Yeezys if Nike puts them out without his name?
Like the OG ones, the ones in the 2s?
They just put out his shoes just to like make some money on the IP.
This is tough.
It is, because the whole thing, right?
Blinks
is about the only one that, like, I feel like I could realistically even see myself wearing. I feel like I'm getting such at, like, I don't know if it's an age or just where I'm at with sneakers right now, but I'm like, I just want stuff that I feel like I can wear with almost anything. Like, I don't always need the latest or greatest. I don't always want like wild and crazy colorways anymore, because like I have enough things to scratch that itch. So now I'm like, I just want, like, case in point, brown Vomeros. I'll wear these days out of the week.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you if you were on the Vomero since you like the Terras were your sneaker of the year. I was gonna ask if you had Vomero.
Not to keep pointing back to it, but all of it goes back to 3 years ago. We're sitting down with Cody, who's got on some red Vomeros. I'm like, "What are you wearing?" He's like, "Oh, these are Vomeros." I'm like, "Cody, no one's."
I thought you said I had the Adidas on.
You were wearing the Adidas for the interview, but you'd got red Vomeros around that time. I specifically remember you having Vomeros. Yeah. And I remember you telling me, I'm like, Cody, no one's wearing no Vomeros. But I'm also, at the same time, I'm like, I've just known you for long enough to know that, like, Cody's got a vision, and Cody's usually ahead of the wave. And then sure enough, I feel like that's what, 2021, and then 2023, everyone's wearing Vomeros, and I'm like, but my whole issue with Vomeros for the longest time, and so much of the Y2K aesthetic runners, I don't like the bright reflective silver panels all over them, because to me, that feels like the shoes you saw on sale at Ross and TJ Maxx growing up. And I don't yearn for that in any way. So anyways, all that to say, they did a simple colorway, and I'm like, fine, I'm a boring guy at this point now. I just want something that's comfortable that I can wear all day. And I love these. I wear these nonstop.
No, man. I never like, cause like you like the second or third person who says that about like how I had those red Vomeros all those years ago, and it was not intentional like that. It was just I was not like, now when I see like the really casual New Balance, like the 99s and like those Asics I was telling you guys about. Like they're a little bit more appealing to me because I've been wearing like actual blue jeans more. But at the time, I got those Vomeros because I was wearing a lot of like green cargo pants. And like there's just something about like red, like loud color sneakers with like cargo pants.
Yeah.
They kind of like break up the like the usual with like some sort of brownish or like greenish.
Yeah.
And then this is like before I really understood, I just knew that it was like a classic running sneaker. So maybe I could use it to run. Like again, like not nearly taking running as serious as I'm taking it now. Like,
right.
Cause I have run in those Vomeros. I've run like, I probably run like at the longest, like 5 or 6 miles in those.
Okay.
And it's like, and thinking like wearing, I'm thinking like, this is kind of like, this is whack. Like, I like if I don't like if someone thought that this was a good thing in like 1990, whatever it was, like, fuck, man. Like, imagine being a 55-year-old man and now you getting all these Hokas and stuff. Like, oh, yeah, this when I was 30.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You running the Vomeros is like Michael Jordan playing at, what is it, Madison Square Garden in the Jordan 1s to be like sentimental. And then what is it like in the third quarter at the end of the game, he takes them off and his feet are bleeding. And it's like, you know, the technology was great at the time that it came out, but yeah, now with like so many more advancements.
No, it's even worse. It's even worse. It's not as far back as like the ones, because I played basketball in one.
Yeah.
It's like being in that middle ground when you're thinking like air bubbles or like the peak of cushioning technology, you know?
Yeah.
It's air, the softest thing.
Yeah. It's like, man, do that right now too. It's I've got a couple pair of ons, and man, I was like literally the day before I got the first pair, because I get them from a guy who works for On. He like tosses me and some other people samples and stuff, and I'll do like photo work for him, and he'll like grab me a pair of sneakers. The day before I got the first pair, I was just like in a group chat with some guys just talking like so much shit about him. I was like, man, you know what? I was like, On sneakers are a psyop by the government because
look,
my headphones just died. On sneakers are a psyop. And it's like they're designed to be so ugly that only people who are like, we're gonna make that our thing. No one cool wants this. We're gonna make this ugly thing our thing. And what happens is people just like start looking at them like, why are they wearing an ugly sneakers? Stupid, like it's not an air bubble, it's just a hole in the sole.
And then what happens is, man, somebody gave me like 6 pairs of Ons, and like 3 or 4 of them were too big, like by a half a size. It's another thing. It's a whole other thing about like my shoes are getting bigger because I've been running. Because your feet swell.
Okay.
Nobody tells you that part.
Yeah.
But I had like 3 pairs of Ons. One I was running in, one that I turned into a running shoe that was more like a casual shoe, and then another pair that was like a half a size too small that I gave to one of my friends. And like the third day, I was wearing the gray Ons like these, and they're like, I see a lot of dudes with them. Like this has got to be like the Air Force One On or something.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, man, these shits are not bad.
I got you.
I was like, these motherfuckers.
He's like, I might be working for the FBI
They're
now.
not, man. They're cool. Like I can't
They
hate.
got
They're
'em.
like, they're not necessarily for me, but they're cool. And then like I will say, like they were not bad to run it. They were not bad to run it. Even like the ones that are, because they're a little bit more straightforward than Nike is with, and like other brands. They're like, this shoe is for long runs, and this shoe is for this. Well, Nike has that too now, because like I've been thinking about getting another hot take. I've been thinking about getting the current Vomeros and wearing those casually with like jeans and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I got this. I want the Terras. Like I gotta get the Terras, right?
Yeah.
But I've got, like how we were talking about fashion and stuff, I've got this fascination with what's it gonna take to make a modern performance shoe look good casually. So we did in the 90s. It's like retro didn't become a thing till like 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I think that's why Tech Fleece died. Because Tech Fleece got so goddamn futuristic looking, and the shoes got futuristic, and these people were just in line at Popeyes and McDonald's and like Walgreens. It's like technology, like society didn't keep up with like the Akira shit going on with the clothes. We were still just regular people. It like Corollas.
But I want the Oakleys coming over the top of my head. I want the anti-flash windbreaker.
That's so funny you say that. I'm like, those people ruined it as I throw on an ACG jacket to run into Walgreens in the drizzle. And I'm like, I can't believe they would do that.
No, that's different. That's different. Because ACG didn't say like, hey, now you're out the matrix and you're living in the world where the robots fly. Like, bro, Tech Fleece was so goddamn futuristic. And the shoes got so futuristic. Like everything was so sleek. And then it's like, and it's not a body shaming thing, it's just the truth. Then it's like you started seeing like people who were grossly out of shape in Tech Fleece, and it's like, oh man, you don't look technical at all. Like this looks crazy. And now it's
technical about this.
Yeah, now it's like Tech Fleece. It's like Tech Fleece in Walmart. It's like, man, you look out of place. You look like a spaceman.
Just standing in line waiting that your 10 items or less. Yeah,
like,
it's definitely gonna.
Like, why are you buying Crisco? You dress like fucking Neil Armstrong's great grandson.
You should have evolved past this.
You're so futuristic looking. Why are you even walking?
Yeah.
And that was the great fashion reset. People are like, man, I'm gonna go back to dressing like it's 1994, you know, because like that works.
Yeah.
And it's less strange now when you see a guy doing like classic 90s hip hop style, like baggy jeans, jersey, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll go downtown New Orleans, see that. And that's not as off-putting as seeing somebody in like some like super, like you see somebody in their like super tailored sweats, tailored sweatpants.
Yeah. It's like super form fitting.
Aggressive striping, like shiny fabrics,
like
shiny shoes, right? And then the person on the side of them is dressed like they work in like a 9-to-5 office setting. It's like, bro, what are you doing here? Futuristic traveler, man.
Futuristic. I will never be able to walk into the city and not notice these things ever again.
That's why Back to the Future 2 was so popular to people, because it's like he was futuristic, but really, bro, he had blue jeans on and a big jacket.
And the puffer vest, yeah.
It was the shoes. And really, more than anything, I've spent a lot of time thinking about that too. It's just that they were so high.
Yeah.
Like he put them shits on and they were up to his shins.
Yeah. Did he tuck the jeans into them or did he stack the jeans on top of them?
The jeans couldn't go nowhere. The things had like a Count Dracula fucking collar, bro. Like this.
Jeans couldn't go nowhere.
The bag
jeans had no choice.
The bag was like this.
What were you about to say? You had a pair of mags, yeah.
I did. And I wish I'd have kept them because I got them as a gift. And that was, I fell on a hard time. And I wish they'd have just made the damn shoe, but that just goes to show you how impractical it was. And then just like, I don't know, like a long-term IP versus like short-term benefit. But like, I wish they'd have just made the shoe and you could just buy it. It's like $800. Yeah. Because this is again, like talking about the future. If this is the future, right? Mm-hmm. I want to be able to wear the shoe every day. Yeah. I don't want it to be a special occasion.
Yeah, no.
Marty McFly had fucking jeans on. They were inside out, albeit they were inside out.
Yeah.
But it's like Marty McFly did not look like Carrie Ann Moss in The Matrix in all leather and Oakleys. He
was at the damn Tasty Freeze.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, again, one of my favorite brands. I love Rick Owens. I don't like the shoes. And when I see people all Rick Owens out in public, I'm like, man, like, okay, Robin Hood, like we're going to fight the witch. Like, what's going on here?
Rick Owens kind of looks like the movie Blade came to life. Like, what if we all just really committed to it?
What's crazy? I fuck with Rick Owens because Rick Owens says a bunch of smart ass shit. Like he said, you want your clothes to fit better, work out, and I agree. But at the same time, when I see people head to toe Rick Owens, I'm like, yeah, like
you're not Rick.
Like you don't bring your kids to daycare, I bet.
Yeah,
or maybe you do. And it's like then it's just like way you dress. See, like I don't think that those styles stop at the way you dress. Like I think they take over your life.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Let me tell you what, I am using that as a way to describe people from now on. You look like you don't take your kid to daycare.
You look like you don't know where the carpool line is. I'm gonna tell you right now.
You look like you pull in backwards to the carpool line. You're holding shit up. Man. That isn't it. That is gonna dig deep on some people.
Man. But nah, man, it's funny. That was again why I reached out. Like it was to see that my opinion on sneakers matched with yours in terms of, because if I had to pick something from last year, that would have been the sneaker of the year.
Yeah.
Just because it's four pairs. Mm-hmm. None of them are really like weak. They're all pretty cool.
Yeah.
The green, the teal pair being super duper unique.
Mm-hmm.
And then that brown pair being just like, it's crazy they're not sold out. It kind of blows my mind, man. Because it's like such a solid sneaker.
That's my thing as well. Yeah.
I think it's just there's no name. I think that's what it is. I think there's just no collab to it. So people just
the Terra Humaras.
That's what you're. Oh
yeah. No, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. I mean no. The Terra Humaras. But to your point, that's the thing that's funny. Like it's Undefeated and Nike. But I also wonder if so many people are just kind of still caught up in like that resell mentality, which is not the market right now. And they view that like the last Undefeated Nike collaboration, right, on all the Air Force Ones went to outlets, which case in point, I remember that happening.
Which one was
that? They did all the patent leather Air Force Ones, Undefeated and Nike. Yeah, those went to outlets like $65 after a while. And it's like,
hold on. No, finish what you're saying.
No, I was just saying, I remembered that, and that's why I did not buy these at retail when they were sitting on their website. Because in my mind, I'm seeing it's so much of sneakers nowadays, right? If they're not sold out in the first 5 minutes, they're not selling out. Chances are, right? Because anyone who really wants them is getting them, and so it's then just a waiting game of is the retailer going to pull them and send them to outlets so that they save face, or are they going to take the loss and eventually put them on sale? And that's what I was trying to wait out. But Undefeated does the move of we pull them. And then when they do the second two colorways, surprise, it's a restock. We found more in the back, so. But here I am, hook, line, and sinker. They got me, so.
Got me with 2 of them.
Hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Right back.
That's how they get you.
I know.
They say, "Oh, you thought the market was dry?"
It's such
artificially pump it up.
It's such a dumb trend that I hate right now, and it's like I get why they do it. I can't call it dumb because I still fall for it, you know. But it's like most of the time, I think it's pretty transparent. In this case, though, it was just one of those because no one was talking about this sneaker when they pulled it. Like there were no rumors, there was no Instagram page posting about like what might be happening with these. It was just kind of like, well, if you want it, you might need to pay resale because I don't know where they're going.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's just silhouette?
This one specifically?
Or just the silhouette?
You're talking about this collab? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's part of it. I think part of it is a little bit of people seeing the last Undefeated Nike collaboration, albeit it's a patent leather Air Force One, so like a very different sneaker than this, obviously.
Yeah.
But I also think like this is just, you know, I think the Vomero, the Asics Gel Kayanos, the New Balance, like that mesh runner is so prevalent right now that it's like it's that and Jordans. And this is kind of in that ACG tech camp that like maybe people, it's not the biggest thing right now. But again,
I can't believe that those patent leather shoes went to outlets. And I didn't know this. That's what I'm talking about, man. That is proof that they're making too many shoes.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. I think
like Lululemon has a section. Lululemon has a section on their website. It literally called "We Made Too Much," and it's like just shit on like 70% off.
Yeah, you might as well own it. I think so much of that was just, you know, I feel bad I keep bringing it up, but I'm always going to keep bringing up our interview. At the time, we were talking about, you know, you had just sold a big chunk of your collection because you thought it was the height of it. But little did we know that, like, when we were talking, it was an even bigger moment. And at that time, we said, like, this feels like the height of it, but who really knows? And I do honestly think 2021, 2022, we hit the height of that bubble, peak COVID. And since then, the market and resale has been down as a result. And I think so much of that was just brands still trying to see, can we produce at COVID levels of production? And I think they're seeing, to your point, yeah, we made too many. There's just way too many now. We don't need to pump out these many because the market's just not there for it.
No. What am I saying? I think about that a lot with just COVID and like fashion and shoes, is because so much stuff got sold. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think everybody initially feared like the economy was going to collapse.
Yeah.
But everybody got there was a bunch of money got given out.
Yeah.
And people just bought stuff. Like some people bought homes.
Yeah.
Some people bought homes, but a lot of people got to spend money on something however they wanted. So it's like, yeah, like the resale market of a thing that was already popular, like it exploding, of course.
Yeah.
Well, when like that much money is coming in on a week,
well,
okay, whatever. Yeah, a pair of shoes is $300, $400, $500. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
like, man, there's a couple new like sneaker stores in New Orleans, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like resale stores. Like people were just like hoarded shoes from that time period to now.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And are banking.
That's the thing.
I don't know. Are they?
I was just about to say, yeah, I don't know about if I think right now, I don't know how good it is. From what I've thought, like I talked to the guys at Lavish Life a fair amount because they're here in town. We did the episode with them.
That's my guy.
Yeah. Harold. Yeah. Harold said he knew you. And from what I take from them, they expanded their store. They doubled it in size. Tanner got to see it when we were there. But the entire second half that they expanded, all used, all pre-owned sneakers. And I think that's probably the move that a lot of resale shops have had to make lately, is so many people. I've been this way for a while now, as you know, from me shopping at Union Street. So many people are like, I'll take the $300 savings on that shoe because someone else wore it twice. I don't need to get a fit off for Instagram right now. Like, I just want to wear this shoe. And so especially right now, I think where resale's at, so many people are like, yeah, I'll just take a lightly worn version of it instead. So it seems like used is getting more popular in resale from what I see.
You guys think that it would create like a true used market?
What do you mean by that? By true used market?
Okay, so like right now, Air Jordan 1, since they've I don't want to say grounded out. People are still wearing them. Like,
It's
no
definitely
one's like,
settled
oh,
down.
let me get some Air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still like, if you have like a color that people want, it's still like it's a flex, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So like at what point is that just not a cool sneaker?
I think the shoes that were like are already cemented as like, especially like colorways, as classics, I think they will ride out. I think no matter what. Now, I mean, like resale value, obviously, I think we'll go with what it is, but I think like even with like regardless of whatever like a Jordan 1 is, I think like that Chicago colorway will always be cool. I think if you see it in like that original one.
Okay, so like would a used like that rusted pair they just put out,
that like orangish one,
it's like
the clay or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, the clay. Yeah, exactly.
It look okay. So like that's like a third that's like a third year of the new generation of the Toyota 4Runner. So it's like if the new one was a 15, that's like an 18 4Runner, and the color they only made that 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like once it's got 40,000 miles, it's not worth as much as it was brand new. Because we got so many shoes now, do you think that like do you guys think that we'll just start to see like a true used market? Like where like, yeah, sure, Chicago's are still gonna be worth a lot dead stock and still over sticker price used, but like yeah, Harold and them, like they're gonna win in Baton Rouge because like you guys were saying, Jordans are just a thing.
Right, yeah.
Like they're never gonna stop wearing Jordans. And if it's really just to have a pair for a day or two to match a specific outfit, and they got like a pair, like I don't know, man. Like I'm still amazed by what sneakers does, because I remember when I was like, look, I'm gonna sell used shoes, and like people in my life were just like,
yeah,
like sure about that. I'm like, I'm telling you, man. People like. I've now seen that there's like, okay, so like we had VNDS and like VVNDS.
Yeah.
Now there's this VEUC, very exceptional unworn clothing. Yes. That's one I saw on eBay this week.
They gotta stop. They're doing too much.
And I'm just impressed, man, because it's like we live in a society that would have you believe that like nobody needs to sell their clothes or like wear it once, get rid of it. And it's like such a thing, man. Like,
yeah,
there's so much used clothes. Like I got to list a bunch of used clothes on the internet myself, because I just got an abundance of it in my garage. That's why I was late today, because I was moving out of storage. And I can't even imagine how many pairs of like Panda Dunks there are on the planet right now.
Oh yeah.
Just on the planet.
Yeah. I do hope that we get to, I feel like when I started really getting into sneakers and really started buying, which was probably like 2013, 2012 maybe, was when I really started like searching eBay. I can't even remember. There was this used app, but I would go used a lot. And I feel like it was so easy to get almost whatever you want. And I think I would love to get to that point where, hey, I want to start getting into sneakers. I want to be able to, like, I want a Jordan 1, but I don't want to pay $300 for just any colorway of a Jordan 1 just because this pair is hidden right now. I would love to be able to get to like a sick used market where somebody could just be like, I want $100, like the clays. Maybe 5 years from now, it's like $80, slightly used, $80, good looking colorway, gonna go, it's slick, but just because it's a Jordan 1, it's not just this like crazy inflated price. That's what I'm hoping the used market gets to, which hopefully it seems like we're somewhat getting there.
I feel like from what I've seen in my experience of like I said, I started off this year with 8 pairs of Jordan 1s, and I think I've sold 2 pairs since. And the 2 pairs I sold were both pairs, nothing crazy. If I doubt you might even remember these, turbo green Jordan 1s that came out maybe like 2018, 2019, and then blue the great Jordan 1 mids, not even Jordan 1 highs, Jordan 1 mids. Both of them I bought from.
Nothing wrong with mids.
Yeah, no, I loved that shoe. I loved all the different colors and materials on it. But both of them I picked up on retail, probably not even on release day, because both of them were in that lull that Jordan 1s had for a bit before they picked up and they lulled down again now. But like both pairs I bought, I've worn on and off for whatever that is now, 5 or 6 years. Both pairs I sold above retail. There's still some demand for it, but I think using the clays from now as an example, I think what will happen is because we're at such a fever pitch of releases, no one really has time to anticipate and build a desire for it because leaks happen so early that by the time it actually releases, you're like, I thought that already released. I think no one has the time to build the anticipation for. And by the time you finally get it, the next thing's already here that you don't have time to build the nostalgia for. So that when it comes time 5 years from now to sell it, I don't know that people are going to remember to even Google or like search for the clay Jordan 1s that released because it might just be, you might not even remember that shoe came out. That's
man.
I only say that because I've been selling a lot of shoes lately to buy other shoes.
No, you're right. Look, because I found a pair of Jordans. I was thinking, like, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it away on here. So we're gonna see if anybody watches, listens to this. There's a women's Air Jordan 1 method of make.
Method of make.
Look that up on your phone right now.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
The women's Air Jordan 1 method of make. You'll know which colorway is interesting to me. There's like 3 or 4 colorways. I stumbled on this. And I didn't see it on any blogs. It's because I don't check them frequently enough.
Dang.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of like that not Reimagine, but like Craft series that they're doing right now, where like they kind of rework all the panels at different heights and stuff like that, it looks like. And like heavy on the stitch lines. Okay. Yeah.
I'm also intrigued by the idea of how customs and customizing your shoes is now viewed as like it's like canon. Like it's not canon. Like there's no more shame in getting a custom pair of anything.
Yeah. That is, man, I feel like that's a whole nother hour we could do as well right there. But yeah, I will say it's been interesting. I think we've touched on it a couple of times, the difference between like, I'm going to spend like $80 to get like rep dunks of like the Strangelove dunks, or I could spend $800 to have the shoe surgeon make me a pair of them. And you're like, one of those is more
where you're taking it.
No, but yeah, it's just like reps versus like customs. And it's like one of those options is for some reason so much more socially acceptable in the sneaker scene than the other. And it's interesting of like, where do you draw the line of like what is no longer a rep, what is now a custom? I don't know.
Man, the Super Bowl Usher shoes, they said that on the Complex show.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl Usher shoes were designed by Jordan, but at the end of the day, they were made by shoe surgeon.
Yeah, that's a great
go in time.
Yeah. That was
were they reps or
I know that was the whole thing. I was listening. I was like, I mean, Jordan commissioned them. The shoe surgeon made them. They're customs. No, they're one of one Jordans. They didn't leave Taiwan, I don't think. So I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't know what they are at this point, but I think it's just, it's an interesting conversation.
No, it's you 100%, man. It's it goes back to what you're saying about the big moment thing. That is a perfect example of like should have been a huge moment, right?
Yeah.
But we know the whole backstory. It hasn't been a month. Mm-hmm. We knew it in a week.
Yeah.
And kind of like what I was saying about the consumer, but it being consumer centric. It's all designed to sell, like not to subtly sell the next thing down the line, but like to directly sell the next thing. Like it's all direct advertising. So none of it's really storytelling for the sake of storytelling. It's everything needs a story now because we're selling everything. We're selling everything. Like I had, those weren't Undefeateds. They were the Easter. Were they? Did they do patent leather Undefeateds years and years back? Was that Undefeated, or was that just the patent leather Air Force Ones in general?
They did. There have been Easter patent leather Air Force Ones way back. Yeah, I don't think it was an Undefeated collab. Like pastel
but not
colors.
The Easter ones. Like I had like the Volt green and the blue ones, the watermelon ones.
I don't know how far back.
I know which one you're talking about.
The Undefeated Air Force Ones were like a year or two ago.
But I'm still reeling on the fact that you said that those Air Force Ones went to the outlets. Which outlets? You have an outlet? You guys have an outlet that way?
We have one in Gonzales, but it gets nothing.
Oh damn, that's over here. Yeah.
Yeah. It gets nothing like that. The only thing they get is that, like, you know, Nike's now started to do a bit of the refurbished, where it's like they'll take shoes that people have returned and put those out. Every now and then you might find something interesting through the refurbished program, or you find people who got like their Nike IDs and didn't like them. So you'll see a box will be like Nike by Jason, and you're like, let's see what Jason cooked up. And Jason is not a chef by any means, but yeah, it's interesting to go through.
No, the New Orleans outlet it's lackluster as well. We don't get anything. I'm going looking for shoes quite a few times.
Yeah.
And like want to buy something, and you know what it is? It's slowly become their own shoe department.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like where they can put their takedown models
of the Jordan 1, of the Dunk, of the Blazer, even, which the Blazer is already a pretty cheap model, but yeah, it's all the budget versions of everything they already offer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because like it's the same thing with the clothes. Like some of that clothes is like made for the outlet.
Yeah.
But people don't look at the clothes the way they look at the shoes. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Again, like you said, we could talk for hours about that because that's what makes it. Like, I'm gonna send you guys this podcast. You'll enjoy it. It's the story of how like Bernard Arnault, the guy who runs Louis Vuitton right now, how he got his hands on it. And there's so many similarities to like where sneakers are now and like where high fashion. Like, for example, you ever found it funny, like when you be in a department store, they'd be like, oh, how's JCPenney have like Gucci cologne? But like they're not selling Gucci bags or anything in here, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the things Gucci has done over their like the last 30 years of business is at one time they had like 200 something licensees. So you could license Gucci for toilet paper. You could license Gucci for slippers. You could license Gucci. Like they were licensing the name out on a lot of different fronts. So that's why you might have seen like Gucci sunglasses and Gucci perfume at JCPenney's. Okay. But you're not going to see any of the Gucci shit that anybody really wants.
Right.
Because they're not licensing. Like, and it's like, what's real Gucci?
Yeah.
Is it the Gucci that's made in Italy?
Yeah.
Or is it the ones that's made in China, but they have the permission to use the name?
Yeah.
Is this a real shoe? Because like I'll tell you this, I want to buy the reverse black and red 85s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just want to fix them.
Yeah.
Is that custom? Is that
like what's that? Because it's definitely their shoe. It's definitely their shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the internet's going through the same thing right now with Ye and Yeezy and Adidas, where like, you know, I don't know if you've been keeping up with that, where like the latest 350 they put out that's all gray, that Kanye goes online and says, this is not real Yeezy, this is fake Yeezy. And it's like, Adidas is making, like, who gets to say what is real at this point? You know, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's not, man. That's it'll be interesting to see how many they sell.
Yeah.
This is like
a lot.
If they sell a bunch of them, they're right, but he's right too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they don't sell a bunch of them, they're right, but he's right too.
My favorite thing to watch unfold with this latest Yeezy 350 release, right, is is they announced that they're going to release them, and a bunch of people online, right, keyboard warriors, very quick to say, like, I'm buying these just because I like the design and the shape of this. I don't care about Kanye. I don't care about any of his antics. And then Kanye goes online. It's like, these are fake Yeezy. These are not real. These are corny. If you support me, don't buy these. And those same people online be like, I'm not buying these because Kanye said not to buy them, and I don't really mess with fake Yeezy. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like people are so quick to just kind of try and follow whatever's going on.
Man, if they put them 750s out again, I'm gonna buy them.
The first colorway, Tanner and I always say that. Yeah.
No, just that first one or the brown ones.
The chocolates. Tanner loves the chocolates. I love that first colorway.
God, the chocolates are. Do it to me, please.
Yeah, we'll just resolve our issues with Kanye West later. If they don't have his name on it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and I get him. I respect his mind. He is insulted that I would buy the shoe without his name when he designed it. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I'm not asking him to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it, and I'm going to give.
I'm not asking.
And
his
I know
permission.
I'm going to give the money to.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
It's all a big like I want to say it earlier about the pods. Like, I think the pods are a troll.
Yeah.
Like, I
gotta be at this point.
I think. Well, not all the way, because I believe my friend Jelani works on that, and he's been kind of talking about like sock shoes for a long time. But part of me is like just tracking like some of his rationale through things he's done in his career. It strikes me as I'm going to show you guys, like, I could sell a sock with 2 rubber soles on the bottom. If my name's on it, it can sell for anything.
Yeah.
200 or 20. And like, he, again, he was right.
Mm-hmm.
He was right.
Yeah.
Name sells.
Yeah. I think that's the thing about him. It's like,
it's funny how he's kind of tried to. Well, no, what you saying, Ryan? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I think that's just the thing about him. Is like, love him or hate him. Like, you can't deny the impact that he's got and the influence that he's got to your point, to like put his name on something. And he's been right enough times about like, y'all don't understand yet, but this is going to be the next wave, that I think people will just kind of, and especially at $20, right? You're like,
yeah,
if nothing else, I'm having a funny joke,
He's funny because I didn't realize it was going to go this far. It's like he kind of just like made himself Marilyn Manson.
Mm. Yeah.
It's like there's people who like it's like you're hip and you're edgy if you like Kanye, because Kanye is right, and then there's the people who are like, he's an anti-Semite, we have to cancel him, and like the best thing that could have happened for Kanye West is all this stuff going on right now, because like that's just like now he's like he is not the hottest button topic of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Not by far anymore.
Yeah. Like they've got big, like that's a whole bigger thing. But which is crazy. It's just crazy that he is also involved in like the biggest socio-political religious topic on the planet, as like a sidebar for one Mr. Kanye West.
Kanye West. He always finds a way.
Got a hand in everything at this point.
Always finds a way.
Him and Michael Jordan, bro. Like they are like, look, they have done a lot. They have done a lot with tennis shoes, as my mama would call them.
That's what we said growing up. Tennis shoes. Yeah.
That's tennis funny. Shoes, man. Them dudes have like worlds of influence because of tennis shoe.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's a crazy time.
Did you guys watch the Air movie?
Yeah, I did.
Never have.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. It's really worth watching. It's good. We caught it in theaters. I guess it was last year it came out. Yeah.
Was it? Oh shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could not imagine.
What are you guys wearing right now? I know Ryan's not wearing any of his sneakers. That's why he's able to take them off and show them like all pretty like that. What are you wearing, Tanner? Like what are you wearing today?
Today, Huarache Runner.
The OG Huarache?
No, okay.
Well,
you should show him. You have it within reach. Oh, okay.
I mean, I could go get them. They're not too far.
Cody and I both now have walked off screen to grab a shoe, so it would be weird if you didn't at this point.
They're my everyday like work shoe beater.
Yeah.
All right. Good thing I'm wearing pants.
Let him go grab them. It's
a
new
type of show, sir.
Yeah. It's a new silhouette that Nike did just this past year, the Huarache Runner. It's like a new, you'll see it, but it's it's a sleeker take on it. They're doing mesh instead of neoprene all over the upper. It's cool. So for you, it's been those handball specials you said?
Lately, I'm trying to get those. I'm trying to get those Terras before I go out to the on my desert tour. I was gonna wear those the whole week in the desert.
That's perfect. It's funny you brought them up. Harold and I have also been talking about it, and he picked up that same colorway too, that cargo khaki colorway.
I think he got the black ones too.
He might have got the black. I remember going into the shop when I wanted the white and brown ones and talking to him about it. But I thought I saw him post the other day.
Crazy.
The black ones are tough.
Black are nuts.
I didn't want to get them because I thought the black on black didn't show all the different panels and details enough. So there's the Huarache runner. Give him the side view of it. Like you see it's sleek.
Unfortunately, like I said, these are my daily burners, so they are caked right now with that rain.
To the outside. Let me see the exterior, the outside. That's interesting, man. Where was the swoosh on the original Huarache?
You have those as well.
Yeah, I have those as well. Those aren't less within reach. They are. I have been I am avid on being like, dude, Huaraches are so comfortable. Like everyday wear. Like that is, I tell everybody, I'm like, if you are looking for like a solid, like you're on your feet a bunch or like a good workout shoe, like that was my go-to like gym shoe. Huaraches have been my go-to. I put in probably 10K steps a day at my job, and I've never had any
those shoes. Those shoes are disgusting.
Never. Oh yeah, absolutely.
On the original Huarache, there's either no swoosh or it's on the inside of the shoe, but on the outside of the shoe, there's no swoosh, I don't think. Looking at Google real quick.
There you go. Oh yeah. No, I bought these Huaraches and I was like, just so you know, you're going into a clinic full of children. And it's going to get,
every day.
It's going to, oh yeah. Yeah. Huaraches have been like they're my daily driver. That I just bought a pair of New Balances to like run in. Crazy comfortable. You brought up the ons. I tried those on, and too firm. I couldn't get into them. Too firm for me.
I got a new pair on the way, and I think I'm just gonna wear them casually because I'm just a sucker now.
Just
they got you down.
You got to fit in. They got to fit in.
Because look, it happened. It happened just like I said it would. Now I'm determined to make them look cool.
Yeah.
So it's like the psyop has worked, and I'm over here doing the Lord's work for
Uncle Sam's work for him. Yeah.
They were hacking your phone calls. They heard. They said, "Oh, okay, he's talking all kind of reckless." What is it? Reverse psychology.
What I realized is they look like them stupid ass Versace sneakers everybody liked some years back.
The chain reactions.
Oh my god!
Yes, that's my issue with these ons. The soles are so ridiculous.
Salehi Bembury did the chain reaction with Versace.
Was that?
I said,
yes,
did you?
Yes,
yeah, that's Salehi did the chain reaction with Versace. So funny to bring that up as well. But yeah, they do have that big like kind of round on the outside of it. Yeah, now he's with Crocs. Show him Salehi. But I mean, he's doing his own thing. He's getting his own silhouette. So I think he's.
Oh yeah.
It's a better move, honestly, for him. Yeah.
Just a very funny,
from Versace to Crocs. Yeah, that's
what
quite
a resume
the resume.
To have on there.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Well, Cody, I think before we go here, one thing I wanted to get your take on. This is a tweet that Ronnie Feig of Kith, or an X, I don't know what we're calling it anymore, posted last week. Yeah, I still say tweet, but just 2 sentences. He said, "Sneaker game isn't dead. Sense of individuality is coming back." What are your thoughts on that?
No, I would. That's funny he said that. Was there any follow up? Is there anything that precursors that?
The precursor is that I think a lot of people have felt the sneaker game is dead right now because the resell is dead right now. So they feel like, and like the releases maybe so far in the year haven't been as big, but it's Q1. Q1 is never huge. There was a follow-up from Ronnie Feig, but we don't have another hour for me to read that to you. So I'll just stick with the 2-line version of it, which was, sneaker game isn't dead. Sense of individuality is coming back.
That's you really took advantage of that no more character limit.
On the first one, yeah. And then on that second one, he was like, I got some thoughts.
You know, it's crazy. He's wrong. And here's what I mean by that. I think up until this point, it kind of was a game. Because first it was so limited that you had to play to be a part of. And then all the games kind of games become lame when like people can just win them with money. And that's what happened to it. It became a game that like, it didn't matter how cool you were. Like nobody like, that's wrong. I'm wrong. The level of cool you had to be became super hypercentric and or like global status levels of cool. Like when the Nike Air Yeezy 2 came out, you either at the local spot that was going to get 10 pairs, 12 pairs, you had to be so cool. Because you had to be cooler than $2,500.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were passing up to let you have them for $250.
Right.
You know, so you either were that cool, like you had $22,000 and you were buying them, or the guy who was going to make 25 grand in cash on a Saturday decides to make 22 grand in cash because you're cool and he wants you to have them. And now, you know, once it made it to all the little rich kids in the world, because it wasn't like that before. There is no game. We can't beat them. It's a raffle-based system where 70% of the allotment is getting sold in advance for more. So it's not like I used to pay an extra, like I used to get the manager at Foot Action like an extra $25 to hold the Jordans for.
It used to be all it took.
$25 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
So like
got you a lot
I think he's right though about I think that because of that, because there's no money in it, now you're seeing people wear sneakers.
You're seeing true colors.
Hard to get some of them. Yeah. Well, you see, it's still hard to get some of them, you know, like. But then that's another thing. They talk about that on the sneaker podcast as well. It's like, how many of these people are how many people are wearing fake Travis Scotts and just don't know?
Yeah, yeah.
Or they know and they don't really care that much.
I feel like that's probably.
I told this to Wayne. I told this to Wayne recently. I was like, I don't know why you would wear fake sneakers. Like, you don't get enough. If you showed up tomorrow to some art show or some fucking fashion fucking party or whatever, right, in New Orleans, and you had on off-white Chicago Air Jordan 1s, depending on who you are, because I look at everybody's shoes because I'm a weirdo, I might be like, oh, that's tight. He got the Chicago's. Or maybe he's always had the Chicago's. That's fucking tight. Cool. Beginning and end of thought.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you are someone I do not know and the rest of your outfit does not match, that you have $5,000, and these are not arbitrary numbers. You can sell it to StockX right now for that amount of money. Like sell it right now.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And you have $5,500 shoes on
with the H&M crew neck sweater.
And that's where I was going with it. It's like that something's not adding up here.
Yeah.
And it's like, A, that doesn't matter. And B, why would you go kill yourself to get real Air Jordan Chicago 1s, like for people who care about it, when like there might be 4 of that guy in the room?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it might be one of those weeks where like the fucking spam bot advertisement for like we have best quality AAA reps.
Got on everybody's feed.
Saw it the same week.
Yeah. But even not reps, even the real thing. It's funny that you say that. I think it would have been like in our first season, one of the first handful of episodes we did, we talked about Shakeback Sunday, and we said there's nothing that makes any off-white or any hype shoe, by that matter, any less cool then going to Shakeback Sunday and seeing 7 people wearing it. And you're like, oh, not as special anymore when I feel like everyone, everyone's kind of got it on. Yeah.
Because, I think like how we brought up, like the pigeons, like you don't really see that around, like, so if you see like someone walking around some pigeons, or like, I'm assuming it's going to be a big event or something like that, that's going to draw you in. You're like, holy crap. But I think you see a Travis Scott and Off-White, like you said, like the Off-White Chicagos. I think you see that and you go, oh, okay, dang, that's cool. You have that thought, either A, because of the time that sneaker came out, is in that social media refresh where it's just like, I've seen it so many times, I'm kind of desensitized to it. And then it's like one of those things where it's like you go to like a Shakeback, and I mean, obviously that's where people are gonna want to show out,
right?
Like, obviously, like that is what a Shakeback would be, is to be like, I'm wearing some serious heat. Well, whenever you go, the Off-White Chicago seemed like an unobtainable shoe because of the limited production, the high resale. Then you go to Shakeback, and like Ryan said, you see 5-7 pairs. You're like, oh, maybe I guess it's not as unobtainable, and then the shine is kind of taken off a little bit.
We were always headed this way, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like the best way to look at it. It's like we were always headed this way, like because in the early 2000s, 7 dudes would all get the 11s, or they'd all get the 8s.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really social media. It's really social media. Social media is like, social media turned like 12 outfits into the Thriller jacket instead of like one. Like how Michael Jackson had the Thriller jacket, and you had guys who went out and bought the Thriller jacket and like kind of bought like people who didn't understand that like costumes are not for you to wear every day.
And you're not Mike.
Now because now because of social media, like every style has like 4 or 5 like default costumes.
Yeah.
So it's like people just resort into those like Air Jordan 1s as like your base model shoe is like a personality, and like a big chunky Balenciaga looking sneakers, it like as your base model shoes, like with skinny jeans, it's like a personality.
Yeah.
It's like all these like archetypes now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like in the 80s or whatever, it was just so much more broad, like high top sneaker with jeans.
Yeah.
But now it's like you gotta have and you can access them all. It's not like, like, you know what, it's springtime, there are no Jordans. You missed it. It was February and it was November.
Yeah.
You can get anything you want from any time period.
Yeah.
In an instant.
So but I do agree with him. I think that like and going back to like tech fleece, and that's foolishness. I think we're just in this era of like dress how you want.
Yeah.
Because it's available. Like Lululemon. I talk about them a lot because like I used to shit on them a bit too, and I have a lot of Lululemon stuff now. It's like they do that sleek techie look a little bit better than Nike because they didn't try to like, again, like Nike really had cats looking like digital ninjas in real life. It was I think it's the trim too, man. It was too much like shiny, like rubber looking, like trim down the legs and the
shit. Everything's reflective.
You went to the go-to spot, like right here down the shoulder. Like,
that's where it always is, yeah.
It's like, you remember the X-Men movies? For some reason, they couldn't give us the blue or yellow suits. They gave us them dark steel, navy-looking suits. Like, everybody looked like X-Men. The Nike X-Men. But didn't upgrade the shoe. You got the 1981 Air Force One low on.
Right,
like,
right.
But you beaming down.
They need to. They like, honestly, if Nike would have had Kanye, they could have took it to the next level. His shoes, his first Adidas shoes were super futuristic. Except he was like, except the future's not gonna be digital ninjas. The future's gonna be the Book of Eli,
military.
Slaves, yeah,
we're like, hold on,
burlap sack shirts,
right? Exactly, yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah, so
I don't believe in hangers. It's
was
just bags in a warehouse. I was like, honey, what's the size? One. What is
Yeah.
it? What is one a small? I don't know. Yeah. What size do you wear? I don't.
And this is like I guess it'd be a good full circle way to wrap it up. And again, all of those styles now in 2024, if we went walk the streets of New Orleans tomorrow, we would see all of them because they all 100%. Coexist now.
Yep.
It's crazy. And so it's and now everybody don't want the Yeezys because some people have officially left that homeless future style alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some dudes, like Air Jordan 1s, all I wear is loud ass New Balance.
Yeah. Style evolves. People change. Because
I can't afford Balenciagas. Like Harold told me that loud ass dad shoes is a whole thing in Baton Rouge.
Oh, it's a vibe. Yeah.
100%.
Because the Balenciaga designer loud ass shoe trend.
Yeah. It was who did it at the time? Was it Puma that did that takedown of the Balenciaga Triple S when they had it? That it was is the exact same colorway as it? Yeah.
Dang.
It sounds like a Puma move.
I never got into those. Not for me, bro.
No, me either.
Not for me. I'm the handball. I'm the classic dad shoe, not the designer dad shoe.
Clean and simple.
Hey.
Yeah.
Awesome. That might be a good place to end it right there.
Yeah, man. Look, we are on here rambling for hours, but I enjoyed it, man. Like I said before we got on, I'm super impressed with what you guys are doing. I think that.
Thank you,
man.
I think that this is the part of sneaker culture that, because I think sneakerhead is and it's funny. I think that part of sneaker culture, that era's over. That might be a good way to look at it. Being a sneakerhead that part's probably over. And now what we've moved on to is people who are into storytelling and narrative mixed in with some of the all you guys really have right here is a history podcast. And we get new stories, and then we touch on old stories, and we touch on personal stories and how they mix in with these brand histories. And in the midst of it is this product, which is really just some company's story and these individual people's stories being told. I guess this is something I probably could have said earlier, but it's I kind of forget. But it's I really had to ask myself why I found myself interested in sneakers again all these years later. And it's yeah, man, when you see a well executed they still do that a lot with SB. They execute the story and the color and stuff well. And it's if you appreciate culture and art, I don't know if you guys if into any other nerdy things like I am, comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
It's Undefeated having a 4-pack makes sense. It's Undefeated. They've been around 30 years. And then, them being Earth Tony, that makes sense because Undefeated is known for their go outside sportsy thing.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I was telling you, Ryan. It's I think it's the best time ever to be into sneakers right now.
1,000% agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can indulge.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's the gift and the curse of how much product that's coming out right now is that you might not be making as many memories or nostalgia for people who were kind of new into it right now. It might be going kind of fast fashiony, but the flip side of it is that now's the best time to get whatever you want, really. Right now, the 4 shoes that I just showed, I bought them all on retail on release day, not waiting in a line, not going in a raffle. We would have killed for that 4 years ago, Yeah.
It's harder. It's harder to make money the way everybody wants to make money with sneakers now.
Yeah.
But there's more ways to make money than there ever been before. You guys have a sponsor for this podcast, this episode. That's somebody traded you something for something.
Yeah.
Just so you could say hey, come check this out. And that's what I was saying. In the beginning, 15 years ago, they just didn't have this. Like someone tried. I'm sure I can go find a video from 15 years ago. Somebody sitting on a sofa, like, "What's up? This is the first episode of such and such. We're about to ask you what your favorite sneaker is." Like just the whole podcast formula. It's evolved. It's an evolved version of like we're gonna have a talk show on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh man, like you make me want that now. It makes me want to go watch like bad YouTube videos from like 2003. But nah, man, it's great. Like I hope like because I saw you guys were at the Ruckus event release, and some of this other stuff. I hope people are like reaching out and inviting you guys to because like this is a good show, and then like you got clever branding. Like, what was the old name?
The old name was State of the Shunion.
Okay, yeah, I remember thinking like, man, fuck with these dudes, but that's terrible, and I'm gonna let them do their
hard
own
spelling.
thing.
Yeah, the hard spelling.
Someone told us the valuable lesson of people need to be able to pronounce your brand. They can't be saying BS, BC, BU.
True shit.
We listened.
And Shoe Podcast is so good. Like, okay, what's the guy? Hey man, I do a podcast. What's the name of your podcast? Shoe Podcast. What's it about? It's a podcast about shoes.
Yep.
Like it's
exactly why.
It's who did the logo?
Houston. Anything you see on our show that looks good, Houston probably did it. Houston does a lot of our creative and visuals, so we have him to thank for a lot.
Cody, and you guys are putting out merch, I heard you say?
Yeah, we're doing anyone who made it this far, we'll go ahead and drop it. We are
see you flashing a lighter. Just
he's holding the light. Okay. We're not dropping the Like Sushi bootleg. I just want to be clear. Tanner's not holding it up.
This is the only thing that lights candles in this office.
Nice.
We're doing a t-shirt finally, so we'll have a little t-shirt design that we're gonna do.
Man, you know what you guys should do? You guys should team up with my partner who does the sneaker. Just anybody who does sneaker cleaning, you should put out a sneaker cleaner.
Is that Kick So Clean?
A limited edition sneaker clean. Yeah.
Okay, I've talked to him before. We had talked about.
Actually, you know what you really need to do? Socks. I tell everybody the way to go is socks.
Socks is a big one. There's a guy out in New Orleans that does socks who sent us a couple pairs. The Crew, Kicks Crew. Yeah. I forget what it's called. He sent us a couple pairs, but socks would be a smart merch move for a shoe podcast. I'll send you his Instagram or something after we get off here.
Look, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what my big socks campaign for this. To anybody who made it to the end of this podcast, the last minute, because I'm getting off, so it's in the last minute. My big campaign for socks this year is going to be stuff like, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you shouldn't have great socks. Casual socks amongst friends.
Ooh.
You should. It's never too late. It's never too early to start talking to your kids about socks.
I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, you get where I'm going with this.
I'm here for it, man.
This is great.
I've got like 30. I've got like 30 of those in the chamber, and I'm really gonna have a ball with it.
Yeah, I'm so here for it. I can't wait to see it.
2024, all socks.
All socks.
All socks all night long.
There you go. I'm gonna go ahead and throw
Everybody loves to have socks.
There it is. We got our socials rolling across the bottom of the screen right now. You want to shout out your socials? We can put them in the episode description as well. Where can people find you?
You can't find me. You can find Like Sushi on Instagram at Like Sushi, all one word. Man, you guys have a Discord? That's tight. LIKESUSHI. This is really well put together, Ryan. This is really well put together.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
You too, Tanner. I keep giving Ryan props.
It is all Ryan.
I wasn't going to say anything.
It is all Ryan.
This is about to be like the Joe. This is about to be like the Joe Budden show in 2 episodes. It'll just be Ryan.
Hey, look,
and a big advertisement.
I'm waiting for the text.
I would be so bored sitting here talking to myself about shoes. I can't imagine.
He'd be like the Theo Von of shoes, just like saying random things into the abyss.
Just 1 hour of just clips.
Yeah.
Hey.
And you can find me on Instagram as well, Cody on the internet. That's all one word, Cody on the internet. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, I can't say enough great things about you. This was such a great time. I needed it. I worked all day on just mind-numbing things. So this is a great way to end my day. I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Cody,
for coming
thank you
on,
so much, man.
First return guest.
All right,
We're
man.
to have you back
being
soon.
a dad. I'm gonna do the same.
Yes.
Later, Ryan. Be good, baby.
Later, man.
Later, man.
Peace.